Today I'm going to be installing some strut bars on the H22 Civic. So I went ahead and ordered some strut tower braces about a week ago and just got it delivered today, so I'm going to open up the box and see what I got here. These are straight off of eBay. The company I bought them from was called XYZ Performance, so sounds pretty legit to me. I've already found a giant hole in the bottom of the box, and where I was storing the box I found a nut on the floor, so I am excited to find out how much hardware I'm missing. But we won't know until we pull it out, so let's get into it. Oh, this is beautifully packaged. Minimal bubble wrap, I like that. Easy for unpacking, I guess. Actually, this doesn't even seem too bad. Like, when I was reading the shipping information, it said the package itself was only 4 pounds, so I was worried about how flimsy it was going to be. But this actually feels pretty solid. Like, I can't flex it by hand at least, so that's a win. So that'll be the rear, I'm guessing. Oh yeah, this will be the front. The next question will be whether or not this fits around the H22 or not, because this is meant for a stock Civic, which I obviously don't have. Brute force is always the answer. Alright, so far we have all the hardware intact on these. So that'll be the front and rear top strut tower braces. Then I have the lower tie bars. Got all the hardware intact there, like, not bad considering where I got them from. Oh, this one's missing the packaging altogether. Beautiful. Oh yeah, this one's missing the nut that fell out. So I do have all the hardware. I got very lucky on that one since the nut only fell out in my garage. So next thing will be finding out how well these things fit. They seem solid enough, I guess, seeing as I only paid like $100 for them. So I guess we'll get to the install. Okay, so I'm going to get started installing the front strut tower brace. So I held it up in the engine bay and it does clear everything, so it should fit pretty good. So I started taking the brackets off of the brace itself, and I'm going to install those first. One thing I noticed on here was that the welds are very small. So I'm not sure how strong they're going to end up being, but I guess if they do end up breaking, I can always re-weld it and make it stronger. At least I have the basic layout and I can always improve it, but until then I guess we'll just run what we got and see how it lasts. Alright, so to install the brackets, it's going to be pretty simple. We just need to loosen off these two nuts and these two nuts. They're 14 mil. Take those off, place these on there, and tighten it back up again. So pretty straightforward. Alright, now it's time to put the brace on. So these are fully adjustable, so they have an adjusting nut here. So if you need to lengthen or shorten them, it's just a matter of loosening this off and twisting, and then you tighten it back up again. So I got these ones lined up already, so they'll just sit in here, just like that, and then stick the hardware through. So in this case, with this kit anyway, the nut is a 15 mil, and it's a 5/16 Torx bit on the other side. So I'm not sure why they went metric and standard, but I'm not going to complain too much. And that's a different size too, why not? 17. So now we can tighten this up. And this one actually has the opposite threading on it. There we go, that's one. Okay, so the front brace fit pretty nicely, the hood closed without any issues. So now I'm going to get on to the rear strut tower brace, which essentially is going to be the same process. The only issue that I'm going to face is going to be these rear interior panels, since I'm keeping them in the car. The only difference is going to be that I'm going to have to cut a hole on each side just to allow the brace to pass through. Other than that, it's going to be the exact same as the front. Okay, so next I'm going to work on the lower tie bar, which essentially its job is to tie this lower control arm to this one. So it's just going to basically sit in here like that. So I've already removed the bolt out of here and here, and now it's just going to be a matter of putting the two brackets in place and then bolting down the bar. Alright, now I'm not going to tighten these all the way at first until I get the bar in there, just to make sure everything will line up perfectly. So still leave a little bit of play in there. Alright, so since this is going under the car, I've gone ahead and used anti-seize on all of the hardware, because there's nothing worse than a rusty seized bolt. So now I'll just install the bar, and this should be done after we tighten everything up. So I'm under the front of the car now, trying to get the front lower tie bar installed. I can already tell by looking at this bolt here that there's no way that the bar is going to clear. So it's supposed to sit up there like that. You can already see that the transmission's in the way, and then when I get onto this side, without even getting close to the bolt yet, it's touching the exhaust. So I don't know, I might be able to modify it in some way to make it fit, but for now there's no way I'm going to get it to fit on here, so I'm going to have to call it done. Okay, so I got the Civic fired up now. I'm going to take it out for its first test run to see how these strut braces perform. So I'm just going to do a couple of slow runs down the street here just to see how they handle. Honestly, I don't feel too much of a difference there. Like, my coilovers are pretty stiff as it is. I guess it kind of feels a little tighter in the turns. I'm going to try it at some higher speeds now and see what we can do. Okay, so I just got back from the test drive. At lower speeds, like I said before, I couldn't really feel too much of a difference. So for normal everyday driving, you're not really going to notice anything. Again, I'm comparing it to having the coilovers on here too, so it was already really stiff to begin with. So in some of the turns it kind of felt a bit more solid. You could feel that both sides of the cars were connected. But definitely at higher speeds, that's when you notice the difference. So when I was hitting the turns on the highway there, I could definitely feel it, and at the higher speeds, just kind of slaloming there, I could feel that it was a lot more solid. So for what I paid, it was only $100 for these things, and unfortunately the one tie bar didn't fit, but it works as it is, so I'm pretty happy with it considering what I paid for them. So if you like the video, make sure you let us know, hit the like button, maybe do a subscribe, share it if you want to, leave a comment below if you have any suggestions for us, and we'll see you in the next one.